So I want to talk about, I'm going to title the video, Terrible at Listening is a Problem and the Game of Keeping Secrets. Now, when I was talking about, I'll talk about the listening, being a terrible listener, how that is a problem. Because for me, I feel like I am someone that can be considered a terrible listener. And especially someone that's trying to get better at listening to people's problems and helping them solve their problems. I feel like if I expect myself to do that and to be a problem solver, to be someone that can listen when people talk about their problems. And in order for me to do that, I have to learn to be quiet and learn not to interrupt and let people speak and finish their sentences. I'm trying to get better at listening. It's more than just trying to learn how to listen to people's problems, because it's also about listening to people's stories. Like sometimes people have a fantastic story that happened to them, like a certain event, or maybe they go on a vacation, they want to talk about their vacation. It doesn't even got to be a problem, but you listening, like if you imagine you come up to someone and you're like, hey, I just went to New York City and it was awesome, and I just had that trip and I just came back and I want to talk about it. And immediately as soon as I say that to someone, they start talking about their trip to New York City more and about how their trip went, even though it was a long time ago and mine was more recently. And I want to talk about what happened to me, and where I've been recently. But they interrupt, and they rather talk about and focus on what they have to say more than about hearing what I have to say. And I'm guilty of doing this to other people, where I'll focus more on what I have to say instead of hearing what other people have to say. And this is something I have to work on. If I'm gonna get on to other people doing it for me and being a terrible listener to me, and I get upset about it, and I talk about being upset about it. Instead of me being a hypocrite and being a terrible listener to other people, I should just learn to, first of all, not let people interrupt me too much, and not be disrespected, but also learn to be a better listener for other people. Because if I'm gonna complain about other people not listening to me and then be a terrible listener to other people, that would just make me a hypocrite. So I want to learn how to, not only when people talk about their, let's say someone comes to me and they're giving me exciting news, I want to try to be excited for them and ask them how was it, ask them questions and get them talking about it even more. That gets them even more excited about it, because that's what they want to do. It's be excited about it and share their excitement and talk about their excitement. And so the best thing you could do for them is by listening to them and trying to match their energy. So even you trying to get better at listening to people's problems, it goes more. It is more than that, because it's about trying to match people and trying to listen to them even when they have great news to share and they don't have any problems to share or any problems to talk about. So it's just about being a full and better listener in all categories of conversation. So it really doesn't matter what someone's talking about. Now, if they're trying to waste your time and talk about some nonsense, then that's a different story, a different discussion. Because, and you could call them out for, hey, you're just wasting my time. But if someone's coming at you with some genuine, news and something that they're very excited about, something they're passionate about, something that, that makes them happy and they just want to share it with you, it's best to try to match them and don't bring them down. Don't get jealous of them. Don't, try to, just try to be a listener and try to match them and be happy for them. And that's the best thing we could do as a friend, but also being, a better listener, is getting into and, fully being focused on what they have to say and not trying to end the conversation as fast as possible, or, just saying, just like trying to rush it. Just let them fully be themselves and just let the conversation naturally flow. And I feel like sometimes I can just get into like, wait it out or wait for this person to stop talking. But maybe that person wants to talk about it all day because that's, something very great and very exciting happened to them. And so you can't really just, want to end the conversation as fast as possible if they don't want to stop talking about it. So the best thing we could do, as a friend and trying to be better listeners, is trying to match them and, you know, ride that roller coaster with them, jump in that wave with them and that wave of excitement and try to ride it with them and flow with them, and vibe with them. You get what I'm saying? Match the vibe with me, match my energy kind of deal. So, yeah, that's what I want to say about trying to be a better listener, is about, hearing and taking in what they say and taking it slowly and not focus on what you have to say so much, but just fully listen to what they have to say and talk about them and get them to talk about themselves more. So be fully focused on them when they're talking to be a better listener. Because, if you are just focused on you running the conversation and controlling the conversation and what you have to say, then you're not giving them the chance, and you're not fully listening to them and giving them the chance to fully communicate what they have to say. And so they won't look at you as that great of a listener. So, it's something that we have to work on all as human beings. Now, there are some people out there that are fantastic listeners and they don't need this lecture, or they don't need someone to tell them how to listen. But for me, I am someone that needs to learn how to be a better listener, and I'm going to work on that going forward. And I want to help other people also who might consider themselves terrible listeners and want to get better at listening. So I try to share my advice and my experience. So, like I said before, smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, yeah. And now I want to go into the game of keeping secrets, because I don't think it's cool to keep secrets. Now, keeping secrets, it's tough keeping something inside that is like, I don't like lying, because when you lie, and especially if you tell a, kind of a serious lie, sometimes we have to, in order to keep a lie going, we have to build a web of lies and just keep lying and have a lie on top of a lie, and like I said, a web of lies in order to hold up the original lie that we told. And it could be a struggle to hold up that web of lies, and eventually we're going to get too tired of holding it up all together, and it will collapse because the foundation is a weak foundation built on falsehood. And so, I feel like as human beings, and as we're trying to get better at, be better listeners and be better at communicating and better at talking and just be better human beings, we need to get better at telling the truth and not telling lies, and be better at being honest with the people around us and everyone around us, our family and friends and our soulmate. So, and Jesus first, be completely and fully honest and tell the truth to Jesus. And then after you do that, then tell the truth to everyone around you, like your soulmate and your family and friends. And I talked about, keeping dark secrets, in before and past videos. So I recommend watching those too, to kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about even more. And so, I just feel like if we build our foundation, if we build a web of truth on the foundation of truth, then we can have much stronger conversations. We have more trust and stronger bonds with the people around us, our family, our friends, our neighbors, just by being truthful and being honest. And so, and it's a lot of work and a lot of struggle and a lot of energy. It takes a lot of time and energy trying to hold up that web of lies, because you have to try to hold it up every single day. And especially if you get caught, or if someone is able to see through your lies, you have to build even more webs to try to cover up what they saw, and that takes even more energy, and it takes a lot to keep that up. And like I said, eventually we're going to get too tired of keeping it all up and keeping it up together, and it just collapses on us, and we fall. And so in order to avoid that, it's better to, even spiders, when they build a weak web on a weak foundation, they find a better, stronger environment with supporting structures to build their new spider web on. So that's what I mean about building a spider web of truth, and being honest on the foundation of truth. Okay, so I know people, and I've talked about this before in the past, but I know people sometimes view and think that spiders are creepy, And I think that spiders are cool. You know, they might have been creepy with me in the past. I do kind of think there might be. I don't know. I'm not really creeped out as much as I used to be when I was a kid, but I feel like it would be really cool to have a pet spider. And I already said I would name him Weber because I used to have a friend, and he's still my friend, but I just don't talk to him as much. Or I haven't talked to him in a while. But I would name my pet spider Weber. And I was thinking about like what I've talked about, and you know, talking about spiders and stuff, and the web of lies. I was like, well, you know, my spider can do whatever he wants because I don't write spider laws. So, yeah, that's what I'll say about having a pet spider. And so, and you know, I was thinking about this video game about. There's a video game called Spider-Man about the web of shadows, and I was, you know, I was doing research on the game. I never played it, but I played Spider-Man games before. But it's a game that apparently you control the story based off of your moral choices. So depending on what you choose in the game changes how the story goes. So you control the story based off of your moral choices. And I find that game very interesting because of the conversation and what this video is about. So, yeah, so you know the game of Web of Shadows. I feel like that goes along with what I'm talking about, and I find it as a strange coincidence. But anyway, and familiarity, familiarity. I can't say that word. Familiarity. Can't say. I don't know if I can't say that word. Familiarity. Familiarity. I think that's how you say it. But anyway, familiarity. I think I got it. But yeah, I like I said, I don't think it's cool to keep secrets. Now, I'm okay with running from the law. Okay, I don't agree with turning my friends in, and I don't agree with sending my friends to the mental hospital. Now, you know, I thought about calling the cops on my friend before, and I chose not to because I don't want to call the cops on my friends, and I don't want to put my friends in jail. And I thought about, you know, my friend, you know, his girlfriend, you know, the woman I'm in love with and the woman I want to marry, he was telling me that he was thinking about sending her to a mental hospital, and I told him to do it because and I'm talking about James and Katie, by the way. But anyway, I told him to send Katie to a mental hospital, and he told me he was thinking about doing it and that he wants to. And I was like, go ahead and do it, man. If that's what you want to do. And I only said that because I was mad at Katie for choosing James over me, and I also knew that, you know, James doesn't fully care about Katie, so that's why I said it. But I want to apologize to Katie for saying that because I don't agree with that, and I shouldn't have said that. That's not something that I would say and I would ever say again, and I would never do that to her. Because I don't want to go back to a mental hospital. Been there multiple times, and I don't want to go back, and I don't want to send anyone there, not even her. And I would never do that to her, and I just want her to know that. But, you know, I want to apologize to her if I get the chance, you know, in person, for saying that. Because I try my best not to say anything negative about her because of what she's meant to me and what she means to me. But, yeah, I don't agree with sending my friends to the to jail, and I don't agree with sending my friends to the mental hospital. Because myself, I'm an outlaw. Because I want to give people magic mushrooms. Like, I want to break the law to help people, like giving people magic mushrooms. So, you know, it would be a hypocrite for me to call the law on my friends when I'm breaking the law myself. So, I'm for, running against the law. I like the thrill of running from the law. And the excitement, I get it. But I want to do it in a way that is helping people, like Robin Hood. Like, I'm trying to think of someone else who breaks the law to help people, but that's how I want to do it. And I'm not for, putting my friends in jail and putting my friends in a mental hospital. I'm against that. So, I wish I could apologize to James too. I mean, I don't want to apologize to him. I feel like I don't need to apologize to him, but I do want him to know that I do forgive him and I do want to help him. And I want if he wants my help still, and I want him to be a provider for his son, because that's what is making me mad. Because I don't want to break him up. I don't want to break him and Katie up anymore. I just want to be friends with her and wait for their relationship to come to a natural end. And I don't want to try to get in the way. I just want to be friends with Katie without him getting in the way and getting jealous and him trying to put fear in me. And I want to be friends with him too and help him as long as he accepts my help. And if he doesn't want to be my friend and he doesn't accept my help, then I still want to be friends with Katie, and I feel like he should be okay with me being friends with Katie, even if we don't consider ourselves friends anymore. Because I enjoyed and I miss having conversations with Katie, and there's not many women like her, and I think she knows that. And I feel like I took her for granted and I didn't fully appreciate her, but if I get the chance to talk to her and I want to talk to her again, then I would tell her that I apologize. I am sorry for everything, like, saying to tell James to send her to a mental hospital and everything that's happened before. And there's a lot more things I want to tell her, but I want to see her, again, to be able to tell her, but I just, that's if she wants to see me and talk to me. But, but yeah, I do want to try to help James, because I didn't want to call I don't want to call the police on James and have James taken away from Katie, because I still want to help James as long as he accepts my help. And like I said, you can't help those that don't want to be helped. So if he refuses and does not want to accept my help, and I can't be his friend anymore. I mean, I would want to try to be if he, wants my help, because I would want him to be a provider for his woman and his son. Because especially someone like me, whose own dad abandoned him when he was born, it's like, I just want him to be a better dad for his son and to be a provider for his woman and his son. And that's what I want to help him with. And if he doesn't want help with that, then there's not much I can do. So, but yeah, I don't want to turn my friends in. I don't want to send them to a mental hospital. I just want to encourage them to tell the truth and to be honest with, at least, be honest and tell the truth to Jesus, but also with the people around them. It's not cool to keep secrets from your friends and your soulmate and your family. And it's just best to tell the truth and be honest. So that's what I would, but they don't have to turn themselves in, because some of the laws that we have are stupid and I don't agree with, and I don't like how the jail system treats people. But, and there's false accusations and all that stuff, but yeah. I don't agree with turning my friends in and sending my friends to the mental hospital. So that's what I'll say. I just want them to be honest and to tell the truth. At least to me, or to Jesus first, and then to me and the people around them. So that way we're not lying to each other, we're not trying to manipulate each other, we're not trying to pretend to be something that we're not. And we can build a stronger bond and stronger relationships by being more honest with each other. And that's how we rebuild our trust. So, because I feel like because of everything that's happened and all the lying and all the events that happened, I feel like there's a lot of mistrust now. And I just want to try to fix our relationships the best way we can, as long as they want to too. So, but yeah, that's it. Okay, so me talking about helping him get a job and be a provider for his woman and his son, because that's what a man is supposed to do. But I feel like another way I could encourage and motivate him to get a job is by telling him that holding a job helps you stay sane, because it helps you appreciate the money, the dollar, and not take it for granted, and understand the hard work it takes to earn the dollar. And it helps you be smarter and wiser, because the hard work and what it took, the labor, the time and energy that it took to earn your paycheck. And so you have to learn to spend it wisely and to make it count, and to stretch the dollar. And you learn these things, and you learn to manage your money and be better with your money, so that way you can provide for those around you. And I feel like if you're someone that is in the habit of wasting money, and you don't know what it's like to work for your own money, it's hard for you to understand money when you get in the habit of wasting money and not saving money. So what I was going to say though, you're much less likely to waste money when it's your own money that you earned and worked for. And you have to learn to spend it wisely too. So someone who doesn't try to make their own money and doesn't have to make their own money and gets money given to them, it's hard for them to, I don't want to say everyone, but some people who has money given to them and they don't have to work for their money, it's hard for them to understand money and understand the dollar and to learn to be wise with it. Some people, not all of them. But yeah, I feel like it's easier to waste money when it's not your money and you didn't have to earn it and work for it. So by working for your own money and your own paycheck and earning it through your hard work, you're less likely to waste money and be wise with it and how you spend it. And I would also say this, also learning this and knowing this, that money does not satisfy boredom, okay? And using our imagination is how we can fully satisfy boredom. Using our imagination to entertain us and educate us is how we fully learn to satisfy our boredom.